Hey everyone, Peace Eye here. Time to talk about the most recent chapter of Attack on Titan. This one basically focused on what Eren and the group found in the basement, and it's basically uh, like a letter or a story that basically shows who that man was that we saw um, in the picture at the end of the last chapter. So there's this entire other civilization, and the walls actually came from a completely different set of people that were once the rulers of the land. The walls are actually on a small island that's off of the mainland that started everything. So there's the Elodians. That's the people that actually ended up taking over the other people, which were called the Mare. So I don't know. There's just so much information in this chapter. It's really hard for me to portray it and give you a quick summary, but I'm going to try my best. Um, a long time ago, the Mare people ruled over the Elodians. One day, one of the Elodians made a contract with the devil and obtained power of the progenitor. Basically, they could become a Titan and control Titan powers, and there's supposed to be like 8 Titans or 9 Titans or something like that. Like the main powers, like the power that the armored Titan had and the Colossus Titan. Anyway, so there's supposed to be like 8 of those, I think. Um, Basically, the Elodians were able to overthrow the Mare and basically keep them in check for like almost 2,000 years, like 1,800 something years, until the 145th king of the Elodians decided that they didn't want to oppress these people anymore and they didn't want to fight anymore, so they retreated to this island um, to basically, completely be separate from them and let the Mare live and whatnot. And you know, create like this own self-included system and just basically forget about the past and live in peace. So where Eren lives is basically where the king of Elodia traveled to and used all the titans that they had accumulated to actually make the walls that surround them. And they warned, if ever you come and try to like mess with us and break through the walls, the titans that are within the walls will trample and just flatten the earth. Okay, so what we see in the chapter is basically everything that's off the island, not where Eren and everyone are. The island where everything originated from, and in that um, on that place, basically, the Mare are oppressing the Elodians now. The Elodians some of the Elodians stayed back and didn't go with the king, and they became oppressed by the Mare because they were basically upset that they've been, oppressed for 2,000 years. Um, so basically, they live the Elodians live in ghettos and stuff, and eventually they try to revolt, and um, I'm gonna just cut it short. There's just so much that I could talk about, but I mean it's not necessary. You guys can go read the chapter, and you can know what's going on. But basically, the Mare claimed that the Elodians were going to attack them, that the king declared that there was going to be war, and that wasn't actually the case. They just basically believe that they're going to need some more resources, and there's a lot of fossil fuels on the island with the walls. So there was a force that is being formed to basically revive Elodia, and that's the character that we're following. He was basically the leader of them, and his son, they volunteered him to be a warrior for the mayor, and the son when he turns 7 ends up telling on them, so the parents were doomed to become Titans, and that's how the chapter ends. And they killed everyone else that was part of the revolt. So it was a crazy chapter, tons of info. Some of my friends were saying that like it was one of the best chapters that they've ever read in a long time. The first time I read it yesterday, it completely went over my head. I had to read it again. It was just so much to take in. I felt like that could have been like a few chapters. I mean, I'm grateful that it was all in one, but now there's just so much that can happen next. I mean, obviously, my prediction for next week is going to be following what's going to happen with Zeke, the child of the person that we're following in this chapter. What's going to happen to him after he's told on his parents. And his parents, at the end of the chapter, they're saying that they're doomed to roam the earth as Titans. Are they Titans now? I think we're going to find that out in the next chapter. I'm thinking that somehow they managed to escape and either got caught and turned into Titans. But, I mean, who knows what they were capable of, because his wife ended up being a Fritz, a descendant of the royal family that, like, part of the royal family that actually ended up leaving, and they were one family that stayed behind. So it was just a crazy chapter, and there's just going to be so much coming in the next few chapters. This completely changes the game. I thought that the last chapter was, like, completely, like, story shattering, like, everything has changed. Like, this chapter did an incredible number on the entire story. Like, it's completely different now. Who knows what's going to happen next? I can't even make a valid prediction. I mean, sure, I can speculate, but there's just so much that could possibly happen, and there's so many questions that pop up with this information now. So I think I'm just going to wait till next month and then see what I think of it then. But until then, I'll see you guys later.